It all started with a back pain, and I thought it was just exhaustion, that I was pregnant, that was natural to get tired and feel some pain in your body. So I just lied down and wanted to get some rest. But then I began shaking, and that was clear that something was wrong. I was hesitated to go to the hospital, but then the pain took over, and my husband and we got prepared for the hospital. I kissed my children. I was sure that I will be back quite soon, and we went on our way to the hospital. Once we arrived to the hospital, the pain was so strong, so I barely could stay straight. I was like bending over and asked for help. And then nurses came over and they checked the baby. I heard the heartbeat of my baby, and it gave me kind of relief that everything was fine. I still made myself to think that everything was fine, that they will help and I will go home. Then the doctor came and he also checked whether labor had started, and it didn't start it, and I felt like, thanks God, because my baby was too small. It was just only 7 months, 31st week. We turned 31st week of pregnancy, and that was a relief that it's not a labor, that baby is breathing and the heart is great. But my state got worse and worse, and when doctors started checking what's happening and they checked the blood pressure, it was going closer to 200, and my head was about to explode. I really didn't know what is going on. After around 2 hours, doctors realized that medicine didn't help, and I still had that high blood pressure, which created really unhealthy environment in my womb for the baby. So baby suffered, I suffered, and nothing helped. So a doctor just came to me and said, we have to do a C-section. And I was like, what? I wasn't ready. Why would we do so? But the doctor kept saying to me, you're ill, you're ill. I kept replying to him that I'm not ill, I'm healthy. But the truth was I wasn't healthy at all. The doctor came to me with the papers so I could sign it for a C-section. I couldn't sign it because I couldn't believe that the baby would have to come out so early. She was not ready. I was not ready. It was like a nightmare. But then the doctor told me that if we don't do this C-section, we probably both, my baby and I, wouldn't make it. And I signed the papers, of course. And in 20 minutes, Sofia was born. This situation taught me a lesson. Confidence is the key, but when you are overconfident, it can make you blind and you can just ignore signs that your body gives you. And this is something that happened to me. How often do we ignore the signals our bodies give us? We can push through discomfort, making ourselves sure that everything is fine, it's just exhaustion, we just need to get some rest, or before it gets too late, we make excuses to go to the doctor for a checkup. The truth is that you can be healthy, have a positive mindset, have a healthy lifestyle, but it doesn't mean that you are immune to get ill. And your body is always speaking to you. Even right now, you can close your eyes and ask yourself, how are you feeling? And maybe there is something that concerns you, but you just don't pay attention to it. Your body will always send you signals if something is wrong, and it's up to you to recognize them before it's too late. When I woke up, I started crying because there was a realization it wasn't a dream, it was my new reality. I didn't hold my husband's hand. I didn't hear my baby's cry. I didn't feel her warm on my chest. Everything went wrong. Honestly, I just refused to accept what happened. And I was replaying that day over and over again. And while doing so, I was literally falling into self-pity mode, where I felt so sorry for myself, where I couldn't stop crying, where I asked myself, why me? Why it happened with me? What did I wrong? And I started blaming everything and everyone. I blamed myself for not being attentive enough. I blamed my doctor who missed warning signs. I even blamed Germany for throwing at us so many challenges we face with here. And it was like a vicious circle. I couldn't get myself out of this circle. Day by day, I felt worse. I lost my sleep. I still kept doing that replay of that day when everything happened, until one night I just came to realize that if I don't stop, so far, so sleeping. And one night I came to realize that if I don't stop falling into the self-pity mode deeper and deeper, it will not help me, neither me nor my baby, nor my family. And I just accepted what happened. And this is something that we should do in a situation when we have no control. It can be breakup, it can be loss of your loved one, or it can be losing a job, or maybe your house got burned. It can be anything. And if you can't control it, and if you cannot change it, first, let yourself to feel sadness, to be pissed off, maybe to be angry, or to feel grief. But don't let yourself to fall into this mode for so long, because the longer you are in this mode, this is something I noticed with me at least, the longer you are in this mode, the more difficult it will be to pull yourself out of it. And once you let all the grief and sadness and anger and all these sad emotions come out of you, accept what happened and just move on. And this realization really helped me to start doing something, to start doing something for the baby, for myself, because I was also in a very poor condition. I had a scar. I have a scar on my belly, and the whole area was like a huge bruise, everything in pain. And I was all with the tubes, checking the blood pressure constantly, taking pills and all of that. So I was full of self-pity, and really, that was a nightmare. I guess I will need long time to heal it all. Okay, I accepted this. It happened. What is next? And next, I just had the moment of epiphany suddenly, where I realized and where I learned the most important lesson from all this situation. In every challenge, no matter how painful, how unfair, there is always a lesson. Always. And that lesson is meant to teach us, to shape us, to make us stronger. But as long as we are stuck in self-pity, we are too busy feeling sorry for ourselves to see it, to learn that lesson. Yes, it hurts. It's okay to feel that pain. But don't let it define you. Don't let it take it over. Before all of this, I had heard many stories of complications during pregnancies or childbirth, but to be honest, I wasn't that attentive to those stories. I didn't listen to people Instead, I was just sharing my own experience, and I felt proud that I handled contractions like a pro, that I carried 2 pregnancies very smoothly, and everything was like according to a plan. And I was as proud as peacock. But now, look at me. I'm in a very different situation now when everything went wrong, not the way I ever planned. While being in a hospital during all the sleepless nights, I've came to realize how much I'm craving for support. And you know, every single message I got from friends, from my family, it helped me so much. It really made me feel better and helped me, and still helping me to handle all of these and all of this difficult situation. And this realization that I didn't care enough about other people, it's painful because I understand how much they needed that support. But instead of just listen to them, I gave advice, I shared my story. I was literally blind by my own success, that I wasn't ready to be there as a good friend, have a compassion for their complications, and just listen to them. But the truth is that people want to be heard. They don't need to get your advice. They don't want to hear your story while they are telling you their story. And sometimes you just need to be a good listener, a better listener, not to the best advice giver. You know, we really, people really love doing so. Just to be a good listener, without judgment, without comparison, without your own experience and anything you can add. Be a good listener. That's a really great skill, and this is something that may help another person so much to handle, to heal this pain, this trauma, and even to save life. Let's be a better listeners to each other. Our little Sofia came into this world at just 1.2 kilos, so tiny and fragile. And the first time I saw her, I couldn't believe that baby can be that small. She lay there surrounded by tubes, and I wanted to take her and hold her and protect her, but all I could do was just watch and hope that she would recover soon. I made a promise I would breastfeed her. I knew how vital a mother's milk is, especially for such a tiny baby. So my life became a cycle of pumping, something I had never done before. Feeding my older children had been all natural, but this time I had to learn the new skill and I had to adapt. So I did. Night after night I pumped, drop by drop, filling the hospital fridge and then our fridge at home. And each bottle felt like I was passing her some strength. But pumping was only the first thing. The real challenge was ahead, teaching Sofia to latch. Every day I came to the hospital to spend time with Sofia, to offer her breast and teaching her to latch, and her family was patiently waiting. By that time, her siblings haven't even seen her. They saw her from the glass, but they never touched her. And tiny victories turned into big milestones. A longer sack, more energy, more weight, and spark of strength in her eyes. And then, after more than 40 days in the hospital, we finally brought her home.